quickest live ever. Seriously. Just going to show you real quick my findings. I got these magnets in. I was going to do an unboxing, but you guys know you've seen enough unboxings. Who wants to watch me unbox magnets? But I will tell you that these did come all the way from AliExpress, maybe possibly only as far as Kentucky. But anyway, we got the magnets in, and I just hastily, when I ordered, I got like 200 of them. It was like $9. It was the first one that I found, and I jumped on it. Anyway, got the magnets in. They're the little bitty 4 by half a millimeter, 0.5. I'll try to show you. You guys see just how small. Do I have just one? Or that's two. See that one jump over? Just how small they are. And yes, I did measure them, and yes, they're pretty close. So let's just show you. Now this is a very inaccurate device, but it comes pretty close. So yeah, see 0.5, half a millimeter by 4 millimeter. So problem solved, right? Slap them on there, good to go. Nope. Let me explain something. Now I didn't really watch Paul. I guess I didn't watch his video the right way about what he did, but I could have swore I heard him saying he put 1 millimeter here, this, that, the other. Well, here, I guess I'll give you my results. Somewhere right in there, when I was done, is about where this thing liked throwing this. About as hard as I could throw it, I couldn't backlash. Well, maybe closer to 4.5 or 3.5. So I think we've got a fix, but it was so cold, my hands got so cold, I couldn't do any more testing than that. But what I found was, if I put all the magnets in here, a magnet on each thing, 4 and 4, so 8, it rubbed. And I'll show you that on the Black Knight too, since I still have this one lined up. So roughly that setting is where I felt I could cast this pretty good. Was getting way out there. If you guys remember my test out in the street, I'm hitting the street with that. It's missing the bill, but and casting pretty hard. And I even did the, you know, like I put it all the way up to 5, and it only go like 20 foot out. Like the brakes, I think, are fixed with this fix. But for those of you, if you get frustrated and you order these little bitty magnets from wherever you get them from, and I recommend just searching around, these can be had all different places. Possibly locally, you can get them quicker. It'll work for both the Black Knight 2 and the Dark Wolf Ultra. But here's what I found. And I already had that open. So it's real simple. I use my screwdriver. You use your hands. I use my fingers and whatever. But so when I started out, I put one little bitty half millimeter magnet on each thing, right? Well, it rubbed. So what I found I had to do, and I thought it made sense to me that you see the side that raises up. I thought I would have to maybe take a magnet off there. Well, that's not the case. That's fine. What I found was this one, the very first one that doesn't, this side that doesn't come up, I had to take off on both sides. On my, both of them were the same, the Black Knight 2 and the Dark Wolf Ultra. So I'm guessing, and all these looked flush. So I'm guessing it's the same way for everybody's. Because if I take, and I'll show you, whoa, maybe I'll show you real quick what and how you can tell. Like you might be able to get away with it, but you might not be able to. So you just pop one on there, pop one on over here. So now I have each one, right? And it may be because mine, maybe these back ones are popped up a little higher. So anyway, I've got one little bitty magnet added on. And that's what I tried to do at first, and then I tried taking the fronts off. Anyway, so what happens, it's already hitting. Let me turn that down. So, you hear that? All the way down to, so yeah, all the way, I have to go past 2 before it doesn't rub. those magnets rubbing, and it does on both reels. So it's definitely a no-go on my on each one. Did that come off? Whoa, these are pretty strong magnets, the one I got. And then what that lets you do, and I haven't tested this, I didn't put mine on this one and test it, but I don't know if you can see, I go all the way to 5, and there's no rubbing, and I can spin that as hard as I can, and no, but it does stop pretty quick. So I think that's a fix. And I guess what some of you guys are going to have to do, get the magnets. That's definitely going to fix it, but you may have to play around with because of tolerance. It's due to the tolerances possibly on some of these. And I couldn't tell you, I'm not sure how to measure that. But for whatever reason, it does not like that back one. And looking at them the way they pop up, I would think that that one would be the least one to rub. So I don't know what was going on with both mine, but it was on both of them. But this one, no issues. Like I can go out there and I can cast it. I was casting like as hard as I could. I wanted, because in my mind, in order to say, yeah, this has adequate brakes on any magnetic braking system on a reel, I need to be able to set it. There has to be a setting turned all the way up, or even before you get all the way up, to where I should be able to cast as hard as I can, and it shouldn't backlash, you know, unless I'm throwing it right into the dirt. But I'm saying I should be able to go up there with whatever weight, and if I cast real hard, you know, and the bait should take off and should not backlash. A little bait, a big bait, or whatever, you know, not a real little bait, but I'm saying within range. Like a BFS reel should be able to cast a BFS size bait, no backlash, regular or whatever. So I think now it's pretty close. So anyway, just keep that in mind. And I would start out with what I did. I would take, when you get your magnets in, I would start out, I mean, you can do the little test like I did just on, you know, turn the dial. But if you can turn that dial and you hear something rubbing, it's not going to help it trying to go out and cast it. You're just going to end up scratching up the inside of your spool, which it won't hurt anything. I mean, you're not going to physically, it just other than it could eventually peel the, you know, the paint anodizing will come off. But I would start with what I've got right here. So you only really need 6 magnets. You want to put the 3 on, leave that first one, the first one that doesn't move, as I repeat myself for the umpteenth time, but I just want to make sure you guys get what I'm saying. You want to leave the very first one empty, and then the side that raises up, the first 3, you want magnets on both sides like that. And I bet if for those of you that were struggling, some of you may be like, I've never had an issue with mine. Well, that's fine. But some of you that cast real hard, and what I also found, which I'll probably do a test at some point, I'll try it with a regular line, because I have found out that after watching on my cast test and watching the reel test on some of his, like the same reels we have, he has to have his breaking up a lot higher than I do, because I use braid on almost everything I test cast, especially on the bigger reels. And if he's using, you know, regular mono, fluoro, or whatever, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 pound test, when you fill a spool up, especially with the big spool, you got a lot more weight. So therefore you require more braking to slow that spool down. Does that make sense? So anyway, that's the fix. It is that simple. I don't know how easy, if you could track down just 6 magnets, or, you know, if you got a couple reels, you only need like a dozen, you know, buy 20 magnets somewhere cheaper. But I got a bunch. I assure you, unless I lose this, I will never need another 4 by 0.5 millimeter magnet for as long as I live, more than likely. So anyway, no questions, no answers. You got it. 10-minute video. Thanks for watching, guys. Go out and get your backlash if you turn it down. And this braid, this is pretty thin braid. I've had no issues of tolerance issues with it wanting to get in there, but I tend to not have it at all with braid. I'm telling you guys. Have I repeated my times about using braid? But anyway, oh boy. Oh, look at that. Look what I just did. Oh man. That's not going to work. Bound and determined to get a magnet put on that back one, isn't it? So yeah. Black Knight 2, Dark Wolf Ultra, the brake systems, that is definitely a fix. Just be aware you might have to play with your that back one. Now, if you can put it there and you don't hear any rubbing or whatever, I mean, more power to you. But if you turn your brakes all the way up and you're like, uh-oh, what's wrong? That would be the first ones to take out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I got a lot more coming up. Okay, I know. I should have ended the video. If you haven't checked out the fishing videos, if you're here just to the, I don't know, the knobs, the handle, the BFS reels, check out the actual fishing footage. I've got the ones that are out now. I dropped one yesterday, and the one today are part 1 and 2. There's 3 and 4 will be Saturday and Sunday. Then actually the 5th and final one will be on Monday. And that was our best day of 2021. Water temps had dropped like 15 degrees. That first of the fall bite was kind of on. We had a honey hole at the right place. We were at the right place at the right time, and it was just game on. Anyway, am I live? I don't know. I'm going to get out of here because I think my Wi-Fi is going jinky. But yeah, that was just, if you kind of wonder, what's it like to go fishing with Charlie, if you watch all 5 of those videos, that is a very good idea. I can get a little nuts. And me and Charles's casting abilities, you will see our casting abilities in that video. Yeah, I know. Is it anything to write home about? Well, maybe not. But gets the job done. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. That ended up looking pretty cool. I was going to stick this on the my Edo AI, the alphas. This is Daiwa Shimano, the gold anodized part, and I got an Abu Garcia handle on it because it's got the little round cutouts and it matches the Dragstar on the Edo AI. And I was like, but it does look cool on there, the gold anodized handle. I got a lot more of these coming. These, it's hard for me to find 80 millimeter. You can find the 85, 90, 95, 105, 100 millimeter handles all over, but hardly nobody puts out 80 millimeters anymore. And that's all I typically use and need. Now I can cut down these if I want. And I think I still got an 85 on this guy. I'll probably put an 80 on him just to get a little shorter. That is the most comfortable knob that I've ever felt or I've ever made myself personally. I even measured it. I even took and measured this to see, like, well, how big is that? So it's like 16.2 or 3 at the biggest part, but it's kind of rounded. See how far it's rounded? It doesn't just end like that, point down. So it's about 10 millimeters worth of that. And then this in here, did all this measuring to try to copy that because, man, that just feels good. For me, I'm not saying it's for everybody. So it goes down to about 13. So it's about a 3 millimeter chain. A bit that way, but I'm just telling you, the way. But anyway, I know I get a little nuts. It is an awesome looking, feeling, and working combo now, hopefully, of those magnets. And you will see this going around all over this spring. Oh boy. When that ice thaws out, game on. Thanks for watching, guys. Get out of here. Go bass and bonsai. Well, just chill out. Don't freeze your nuggets off. Wait for spring. It's coming. If you're out there doing that winter fishing, more power to you. I called her quits. Once that water temp dropped below like 45 degrees, nope. unless it warms up to 60 or above, I might go out and set it and soak a worm for a day, try to catch one big bass. Until then, we'll see you in the next unboxing, or if I discover I want to tear into something else.